Okay, good evening, good evening, good evening. We are live. It's 8:30. Today's live may be a bit short. It may be I wouldn't say curt, but it may not be the full half an hour. We may cut it short a little bit. It's the first live I've done in a few weeks. Evening, Christabel. Make sure you're pinging in your friends. Good evening, good evening. Give me a wave. Today's live is going to hit home, and I'm speaking directly to parents. So most of my lives, good evening, Donda Davis. You can see that's Miss Brown to you. I love that name. Ping in your friends. I'm going to ask parents some very, very hard questions. It's going to be quite hard hitting, and the reason it's going to be quite hard hitting is because you're going to sense my frustration. So if you get frustrated at your children, I want you to think about the fact that More Education, we have over 50. I have to deal with children day in, day out. And my frustration isn't really with children oftentimes. It is with parents. So that's why I'm asking you, ping the parents in. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Ping the parents in and let's have an honest conversation. Hello, Fran. Ping the parents in and let's have a conversation. Ping the parents in, ping your friends in. They're not doing anything. Come on, let's be honest. It's a Tuesday evening. It's freezing cold outside. Today was cutting. It's that kind of halfway point between the winter cold and that kind of brisk spring. So they're inside. It's an evening, and we're gonna have a quick chat. If you genuinely want to have a chat about your children, you care about your children, you want the best for your children, we're going to have a chat here today. Nobody's given me a wave and nobody said hello. People have come into the room and nobody wants to give me a heart. Nobody wants to give me anything. But maybe you just want me to get kick-started. But before I get kick-started, I am going to... my sponge is in the way. I'm going to ask you, make sure that you have this. This is for all parents with children in secondary school, More Education's Essential Guide to Secondary School. This is free, guys. This is absolutely free. Just go into my link and download it. Link is in the bio. We're going to be doing a course around this. So we're going to be doing a course directly for parents, which we should be releasing. We should be releasing pretty soon. We've got a GCSE course coming out within the next 2 to 3 weeks, the lead up to GCSE, but we've got that free downloadable. Okay, so I got some notes. I got my laptop in front of me. The live for today is, and what I'm asking you is, do we have high enough expectations for our children? Do we have high enough expectations for our children? Now, as a parent, you've got to remember, I kind of border. As a parent, do we have high enough expectations for our children? That is the topic for today. And there's a reason that triggered this. You know, something always inspires me, something always triggers me. I urge you to go and watch a film. It's on Netflix, my understanding. It's called Whiplash. It's one of my favorite films of probably the last decade. And I watched it a few years ago and I watched it again. It is a very intense film about, I don't want to spoil it for you, but think about expectations, yeah? Now, one of the things I like to ask children, one of the questions I like to ask children in our interviews, yeah? And this really tells me a lot about a child. I ask a child, can you give me an example? It can be anything. It doesn't have to do with education. It doesn't have, give me an instant in your life where you really tried. It could be something at school. It could be a homework project. It could be a sporting project. It could be anything. Can you give me an example of when you really, really tried your best? I ask children this question. And do you know something? Do you know something that's really sad? And I give them an opportunity. I say like, oh, maybe when you were preparing for your SATs, or maybe an opportunity, a time where you really wanted something and you had to strive to get it, or you had to work really hard over an extended period of time. Can you give me an example of a time when you really tried? Yeah? Do you know a lot of children can't think of a time when they really tried? Ask your children that question. Ask your children, ask them that question. Give me an example of a time in your life where you really tried. You tried really hard. Because a lot of children cannot give a bloody example. It's sad. Do your children have those examples of a time when they like properly like pedal to the metal and they really tried? Now, I realize having a conversation with my own children, I've kind of gone completely the other way because my children, yeah, have always seen me hustle. Like they know like dad loves the hustle. I was speaking to my son the other day and he said, and I've got to hold my hands up and I have to say, maybe this is a fault as a parent, yeah, where my son says that the idea of lying in bed, doing nothing, gives him anxiety. He has to find something to do. My daughter says the same thing. If she doesn't have projects on the go, yeah, like, all right, this week, and I've said to her, no, you got to learn to relax. But I realize that not only comes from me, it comes from my mum. The hustle, I love it. They've seen me build. They've been part of the building process. Yeah, they've seen it. They're part of it. Yeah, I include them in it. But I realize not a lot of children, I'm not saying your parents haven't been through it, but weren't part of that building process. Sometimes we shelter our children from the harshness, from the pain that we've had to been through to get where we are. But that pain and that kind of journey, I repeat, that journey is the beauty. Oftentimes we talk about the end goal, but you see the journey, yeah, and taking our children along that journey and letting them know and understand that journey, that's where the beauty is. So oftentimes when we're thinking, are our children putting enough effort? Is it that we don't have the expectations? They maybe don't have the context. They don't have the context to understand. So when we set these high expectations, yeah, or if we do set these expectations, our children aren't reaching them. Oftentimes as parents, we have to look back at ourselves and ask, why? Why is it that, like, oftentimes I hear parents say, like, I'm not as harsh as my parents. I don't set the expectations that my parents did. But then why are your children not reaching them? And then it would come down to, are the expectations you're setting too low? Are the expectations you're setting too low for your children? Because when I listen in other communities and listen to things that are quite standard in other communities, they're not in ours. When I speak to children from other groups, other ranges of communities, and we talk about their experiences, the effort and what they've been through, they've been given experiences and experiences have been created. They have not been spoon-fed. One of the things I spoke about, I think it was a few lives ago. I don't know if you remember me saying this, yeah? I said, black boys, yeah, see black boys in my educational experience. Black boys, they hate me. Like, not all of them, not all of them. I even had one say it to me, I think it was about 3-4 weeks ago. Sir, he couldn't articulate, but I knew it was because I've had it all of my career. Black boys, they've never been my biggest fan. Never. And I know why it is. I know why, generally speaking, black boys don't like me. It's because I demand. I'm very, very demanding. I'm very, very demanding as an educator. Because I only require one thing from my students. I require one thing from all of my students, and that's effort. I don't care about anything else. I demand effort. And the reason why I demand effort is because I know everybody can give effort. You might not get it right. That's not the point in my classes. I don't expect everybody to get it right because I don't get it right. But what I demand is effort. And you see that demand, yeah, where I'm not going to spoon feed. I refuse to spoon feed you, yeah? I realize a lot of our boys struggle. It says, I remember saying that in a girls' school, exclusion, girls. I remember you saying that in the girls. Yes, I did. I said it. Thank you. Oh, someone's paying attention. That's nice. Some children genuinely have no idea what effort looks like. They have no idea. They cannot conceptualize what it means to put something in. That's why, and I am being quite generic in this. I am being generic, yeah? That's why when we speak to, oftentimes, and you've heard me speak about this when we do our parent interviews, when we do our, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to make sure I am right. I love that conciseness. I'm going to create a badge and walk around my house with that and let everybody know, because I am right. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's slight me off track slightly. It's that effort. When we speak to a lot of our boys, yeah, and I'm being quite specific for boys, because we have to admit there is a distinct difference, yeah, in our community with the boys and our girls, yeah. You know the thing I hate, and I've spoken about it many times. Oh, what do you want to do? And you go, I want to be a footballer. The reason why, yeah, and I love digging down into this. The reason why often many boys want to, because they think it's easy. They think it's easy. They genuinely, I don't want to do anything that requires me to be slightly uncomfortable at all. And the reason that is oftentimes we don't make our children uncomfortable. We don't make our children, especially our boys, uncomfortable. We don't. I appreciate there is a very fine line. We have to think about wellness and mental health. I agree. Like, trust me, it's something I've had to develop and understand and learn as a parent. But being uncomfortable is the greatest feeling on earth. You want to learn to be in uncomfortable places because we know that's where you grow. But do we put our children in uncomfortable places, or do we make them comfortable? And then when we make them comfortable, this is the call that I get, because you would have probably been doing it before your encounter with me in year 8, year 9. And then they come to me and I make them uncomfortable. I was in a session yesterday with a child and I asked a question and sat in dead silence for 3 minutes. Dead silence. And just repeated the question again. And then, because what that child was used to was, I know if I shut up long enough and I don't say anything, and it was a boy, yeah, he's going to give me the answer. And I just kept repeating it back to him, rephrasing it, building it. And he's at the end of the session, he goes, nah. I said, what do you expect? I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to make you grow. But a lot of our children, specifically our boys, they hate that. They don't want to be uncomfortable. And the reason they don't want to be uncomfortable is because they've been made way too comfortable. Way too comfortable. I want to be a footballer. Why? Because it's easy. What signs have you ever had that you can be a professional footballer? How dare you? I say that to a lot of boys. How dare you? Do you know the effort that professional footballers have to go in, and you just think because someone told you, or you like playing with your friends, or you like bloody playing FIFA, that you could be a professional? The cheek. It's disgusting. I say these words. It's disgusting. How dare you say such things? Because oftentimes our children have no idea of what effort looks like. And I'm being very specific to the boys. It's easy mode. And one of the things that, I'm not sure how to frame this. One of the things, or one of the paradoxes that I find so interesting, yeah, I find it so interesting, is that you've got to remember, I know I look young. I know there are very few grades. You're just seeing lots and lots of, thank you, comfort zone, lots of black hair. But I've been teaching for a while. It's actually starting to get to me now, yeah? Because I'm starting to, I always meet like a lot of the children who I talk to. I was in the gym the other day. And I said, I went in and I was like, yeah, you know how it goes. And one of the guy goes, yeah. I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, well on, sir. And I was like, what? I didn't remember him. Big man. But I say that to say, I'm old enough to now see those young boys grow into men. I'm old enough to see those young boys grow into men. But outside of this conversation, because you 15 people in here, you guys are probably some of the only ones who listen to me. Nobody listens to education chat. Everybody wants to listen to relationship chat, yeah? Everybody wants to listen. I'm not exciting enough. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try harder, guys. I promise. I'm going to be more edgy, yeah? But I say that to say, I hear all of like these complaints about men and men being this way and boys being that way and us raising men need to be this and today's men are this but I remember when they were boys. I was there when they were boys. I know who raised them. I saw. So why are we complaining now that they're in their like mid-20s, early 20s? Some of them are even in their late 30s and they're whatless, yeah? Like they are, yeah? They are. They are terrible. I saw them when they were 12, 13. I saw what happened, yeah, when I used to force them into their comfort zones. It was like, oh no, don't do that, don't, oh, da. But your you is now this, and he's a bum. And he's whatless, because listen, this is what's going to happen. Does nobody ever go back and think, oh, what caused, but we say, yeah, we saw it come. Well, nobody goes back and says, oh, like, what caused all of these young men to be unproductive or to lack vision or it's because we've had such low bloody expectations. Low expectations. The one that's creeped in and you hear me cuss about it all the time is, oh, like, you don't need education and so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to leave you with this one. I said this one's going to be a bit short because I upset my daughter earlier and I need to give her the attention she deserves, being that she's invested in me. So I'm going to cut this short. And I'm going to make a reel about this one, yeah? One of the big issues that we have, especially around boys, and I always hear parents say this, they say, my son doesn't read. How do I get my son to read? How do I get my son? Have they ever seen you read? Has your son, has your child ever seen you, yeah, pick up a book, sit on the sofa and read? Not on your phone, not doing this, not Netflix, forget anything like that. Has your child ever seen you actually read a book? If your child has never seen you pick up a book, pick up a newspaper, yeah, then somebody said, so thank you, I agree, kids copy their parents. We are not doing a good enough job. Let me explain this to you. My dad, love him, yeah? Sorry, I laugh. My dad had a diamond ring. He was a bit of a character, yeah? Diamond ring, yeah? Diamond ring, yeah, grew up. Diamond ring, cheeky, yeah? Listen. As soon as I got the chance to go to Hatton Gardens, the little pocket money that I went and got the same thing. The exact same thing. My dad, everything I saw my dad, I wanted to do the same. Everything I saw, I've spoken to you about my uncle. My uncle, I just come off the phone to him in Jamaica. I saw him read 2 or 3 newspapers a day. That was standard. My dad used to watch, Question Time every Thursday, standard. That's what I watch. My older brother's a journalist. This stuff isn't like osmosis or like some hokey pokey type stuff. It isn't. However, we sit here and if your child has never seen you read, has never seen you pick up a newspaper, has never seen you engage in anything outside, anything that you would like them to, yeah, you're going to struggle greatly. You're going to greatly struggle to get them to engage. And please don't believe that I have a magic wand. I don't. They hate me. They think I'm horrible. There are elements and times where there's this crazy dichotomy of like deep resentment but slight admiration and fear, because I am a physically imposing man. A physically imposing man. So I'm not speaking about boys, we are all children. Has your child ever seen you reading? If they don't, please allow them. Give them the pleasure. Not you reading to them when they're 3 or 4. I'm saying my mum used to read. Where are them bloody books? What did she used to read? Was it Martina Cole? Jeez, you peas. She used to read these Martina Cole books. I've never read one, but I saw my mum read. I've told you about the books that I stole from my dad, and he come back and took them off of my. Oh, this is my book. Where you get that book there from? Yes, I stole a book from you. Even up to the other day, my aunt. I believe this is my aunt's book, if I remember correctly. Yes, JS 2002. This is my aunt's book. This isn't mine. My auntie Jackie. I don't think she's watching, so it's fine. I stole books. I've stolen books from my dad. I've stolen books from my brother. I've stolen books from my mum. I've seen them read books and I stole them. Because reading and education means something. I saw them read them and I took them. It's interesting because I'll wrap up on this one. I saw Ezra reading this. He was reading this the other day. He was sitting right there and reading it, and he knew he couldn't steal my book, so he went and bought his own. Are the expectations, is the bar too low? If you sit down and watch bloody football with your children and that's the only engagement you've ever had with them, then we're going to have a massive problem. Do we set the bar way too low for our children? Way too low. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to wrap up early. I'm going to apologise to my lovely daughter. So I'm 8 minutes early. I'm probably going to get a guest on in a week or two. Thank you very much for all of you for joining this evening. As I say, I'm not going to be here every week, so I'm not going to rant every week. Yeah, but I've just left you with a lovely tip. Beautiful tip. I leave you with one more. And I've said this. There is a bookstore in Charing Cross. Yeah? Charing Cross Road. Anybody know what the bookstore is? It's like 5 or 6 floors. Yeah? I know people who tell me about the department store on Oxford Street. Yeah? And I know like that's what kids aspire to. Thank you. Foyles. Foyles is a not what's Foyles. Foyles, Waterstones across the road. Yeah? Foyles. Foyles is the original. Yeah? Day trip to Foyles. You go and get a book, they pick up a book. They get to look through all of the books and all of the sections. There's 6 floors, yeah? They must be able to find something. There's no reason they can't. Have a lovely evening. Thank you very much, everybody.